Every year, billions of dollars are stolen from lower capacity countries, but the impact of this loss of funds does not impact all citizens equally. Often, those who are accountable for identifying and prosecuting this activity are precisely those that benefit from this theft of national wealth, which neuters the state-based systems for monitoring and holding to account those committing these crimes. In these cases, it falls to civil society and investigative journalists to press for the reforms that are needed, empowering these non-governmental actors to highlight corrupt activity and press for transparency and accountability is a critical element of the global effort to reverse impunity. Once this money is across the border, out of the local region, and into the international financial system, the chances of identifying, seizing, and returning the funds are vanishingly small. Strengthening the first mile and safeguarding the financial hubs that are currently abused to facilitate the movement of funds beyond the reach of law enforcement is critical to fight this corrupt activity. This project was focused on 3 different regions that share common challenges when it comes to restricting the power of kleptocratic governments and trying to secure democracy. Latin America, especially Panama, has an active and well-connected financial services industry that allows it to operate as a regional hub for financial flows, providing all the necessary associated professional services, which can be equally abused by those seeking to move and hide illicit finance from across the region. The second region of focus was East Africa. The case of Kenya provides a narrower suite of services than Panama, but nevertheless, the presence of international banks ensures that the country is well connected to the international financial system and can be similarly abused to benefit bad actors in the region, who wish to move their illicit gains into the international financial system. In both cases, media and civil society actors are vibrant, even as journalists and human rights defenders remain vulnerable to restrictive laws and intimidation. Meaning that if suitably empowered, civil society organizations and investigative journalists have the capacity to act and generate positive change. The final region we chose to focus the project on was the Western Balkans. The region as a whole represents a backdoor into the European Union, thus serving a similar gateway role to those played by Nairobi and Panama City. The Western Balkans also represent a destination which organized crime groups with their roots in the region return profits from their businesses in the EU. By acting as regional facilitator of illicit finance, the systemic weaknesses in the anti-financial crime frameworks in the countries in these regions undermine both their own national development and democracy, as well as those of neighboring countries. The project had 2 main objectives. The first one was to increase the understanding of the domestic and international standards and requirements related to combating illicit finance among investigative journalists and civil society, advancing their ability to contribute to societal pressure on government institutions and regulated businesses to comply with their obligations related to fighting illicit finance. The second objective was to empower activists from civil society and the media to develop regional and international connections to aid the effectiveness and impact of their work and, over time, contribute more effectively to the wider international anti-kleptocracy movement. In general, international standard setters are largely disconnected from local perspectives. This means that in kleptocratic countries, access to grassroots communities and journalists that will hold governments to account is incredibly restricted, if given at all. Strengthening the integrity of the financial system in a local context by empowering investigative journalists and civil society is a key means by which the international community can respond to the abuse of the financial system by kleptocrats and corrupt actors in these 3 regions.